Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our second day of the KYAC conference. Thank you for joining us and being here with us to celebrate all that is youth and all that surrounds youth, and that includes us. So you guys have chosen an excellent session. You have a real treat ahead of you. Rachel Sullivan is she's our presenter, and she is passionate about kawaii and about anime, and about manga, and all of those. She loves cosplay. She loves all these different things. So we're going to learn a lot about what she's interested in. Rachel has her LIS, and she's been working in public libraries. She's been in several different systems, and currently she's a youth services librarian at Louisville Free Public Library. She is passionate about serving patrons, about serving the needs of the neighborhood, about listening to what patrons desire, and man, she's passionate about fulfilling those needs. I just want to turn this over to Rachel, let her have as much time as possible. Sit back, enjoy. You have a treat ahead of you that's going to feast. You could just feast with all your senses. So Rachel, thank you so much for prepping for us and all the work you've done already, and we're looking forward to hearing what you have to share.
Thank you, Amy. So today is not without fraud. I am having some technical difficulties on my end. I am not seeing this button for forwarding my slides, so I don't know if somebody can forward my slides for me. I'm doing this from my phone, y'all. Oh, yay, thank you. That is the most helpful thing. So I have for you guys, I have this lovely presentation on kawaii. So I just pronounced it. Kawaii is pronounced like Hawaii with a K. It is the Japanese culture of super cute. So I put the little emoji bear next to it to help give you some, like, a grasp on what this is, because this is a very ethereal topic. It's style, it's clothing, it's accessories, but it's not just a clothing fashion concept. That's mostly how it is portrayed, but it's a lot of things that you can do crafting wise in the library. It makes a lot of great programs. So yeah, the next one is kawaii is over the top cute. It's emoji like faces and expressions. It is pastel colors. It is anything cute that you can think of. I gave some examples of Hello Kitty, Kuromi. That's sort of like the pastel goth version of it. Banana. Cats and bananas, y'all. Cats and bananas. They're super cute. If you've never seen that on Crunchyroll, they're not dubbed. It doesn't matter because they are super cute and kids will love it. Next slide, please. I've got Michiri Neko, which is like squish cats. They're like Japanese squishmallows almost. Cats that like to lay on each other, and they're super cute. Those also aren't dubbed, but the kids don't care because the cats are doing super cute, obvious things. And then I have Tokidoki on the side. Again, that one's like cute, but kind of punk and goth at the same time. So it can blend through different subcultures and genres of style. And you'll notice on the background, everything is, rainbow and super cute. That's okay to go to the next slide. I've got Hamtaro as an example, big-eyed little hamsters that are just super adorable. And even Tamagotchis. I know that's a throwback, and probably half the room doesn't know what a Tamagotchi is, but it's a little pet that captioning would probably be helpful. But Tamagotchis were a little digital pet that I constantly killed. But they were super cute to try to keep alive. And as you can see, they almost in a way look like Hamtaro. So on the next slide, I've got kawaii as a style. I even liked how the slide itself looked with the little unicorn headband. It goes along with the lady's hair and the pastel colors they're all wearing. And actually, those Someone has a Tamagotchi. Awesome. Those unicorn headbands, I'll come back to those because that plays into some of the crafting stuff. So next slide. Okay, so these are some books, and I have a PDF of all this information attached to this presentation. So I have PDF that has the bibliography of the books listed. It has all of the sites I'm going to mention. Plus, there's a fun coloring sheet for you guys. So I recommend you download the PDF if you can, and you're welcome to use that coloring sheet for your own programs. For whatever you need. I got it off Canva. So these are older books. One's from 2007, Gothic and Lolita, and Fresh Fruits from 2005. I was able to get one of these books from my previous library, and they make great visuals for the teens to just look at, for them to just go, wow, that's, it's old fashioned, but it's still current. I think I found one of these titles on A-Books for like $60, which, depending on your system, may be a lot and may not be a lot. And that's up to you. There are newer books. So next slide. Tokyo Street Style. It came out in 2018. It has a lot of the street styles in it, which is what this subculture is considered a street style. That is a newer book. It's easier to find. It's not out of print. It's not as expensive. But you can do searches on Kawaii style or pastel goth or Lolita, and you can find these styles just to give teens something to look at, and that could make a program in itself, looking through styles and then having, fabric for them to create their own expression of it. I will go back to the unicorn headband that I have on the side there. You can get the kits to make those, and actually I got those last year to make pumpkins. So I got the pumpkins, and I got the unicorn decorations, and I got the unicorn decorations from Oriental Trading Company to put the ears, the roses, and a unicorn horn onto pumpkins, and they were really cute. If you're thinking this is a very gendered subculture, you are wrong. When I gave those to everybody to make their own kawaii unicorns, I had little boys that turned theirs into vampires, and one kid did the entire Spidey collection. So he did Spidey and Gwen and that other I can't remember the other character's name, but I thought the vampire was super cool. So you can be surprised with what kids come up with when given what seems like an obvious craft, and they turn it into definitely their own thing, and I always love that. Next slide. So then these look like everyday items, but you can have kawaii as many different things. So kawaii could be a camera from Target, which you could use for a summer reading prize. You could get those really cool headphones off of Amazon, which light up. I have those in pink. They are super fun. Or you could have little fun pins. Those look like kitty cats. I also have some that look like little bears. We have those floating around at work. And little pins also make nice little prizes for different things for teens. So kawaii can be an amalgamation of things. It doesn't have to be just one thing or one style. Next slide. Yeah, and then we kind of got heavy there on some of the different things it can be. Stationery is really big with kawaii. So I've got like a pin set and some really super cute tape from kawaiipinshop.com. That is a very specific website made catering to kawaii. But you can find kawaii things, obviously, like Target, Amazon, that are not so focused. Awesome. Thank you, Amy. So I also have that listed in the PDF too, if you happen to download that. Next slide, please. Okay, so these are books unrelated like the last ones. These are books that have actual crafts in them. The 53 Kawaii craft projects, that one is geared towards librarians. It's written by a librarian. It tells you how long the project time is, the setup time, approximately a budget for your crafts, your project level, if it's going to be easy, hard, if you're going to need help for setup. Those sort of considerations are really helpful when creating a program. And so it's nice to have on the beginning of each project all these considerations. The book to the right, I know my lefts and rights, the book to the right, Kawaii Craft Life, it is just a regular book. It doesn't have things broken down for librarians, but it is a pretty easy, most of the projects, I know words, most of the projects are pretty easy. They involve felt, they involve sewing skills, and then beyond that, that's pretty straightforward. I have done these projects with ages 6 to 12 during COVID. So I gave them kits to take home, and they completed it, obviously, with their parents' help. I recently did it again at the library I'm working at now, and it took a whole lot longer than I anticipated. So everyone left with supplies, and nobody really finished anything. And one of the staff members that did jump in that wanted to make something from that Kawaii craft program, I think it took her 2 days to finish her project. So that was a consideration on my part, that I was like, I've done this project before, but I didn't stop to think about, can this be done in an hour? And I had to stop. I had to keep helping one girl that was tangling her thread a lot, which I didn't think about the thread tangling so much. So considerations, we all have programs that don't go so well, and then we adjust and move on. So next time I do it, I might do it with an older group, and I might prep some of the stuff in advance so that maybe we can all get done within an hour. So those are some considerations, but I do recommend that book for projects. Just email the author of the book, and she's pretty cool at letting you use her stuff. She also has an Etsy shop, and you can get individual PDFs of her plushie designs. And I have one that's for a ghost and a bat, which is what we did. The ghost is obviously really easy because it's a bell shape. The bat takes longer because it's got wings and it's a little more intricate. But those are some considerations too, how easy or difficult the project's going to be based on its actual shape. Next slide. Thank you, Amy.
I just wanted to say that we have, KDLA has the book on the left, the 53 ready-to-use Kawaii craft projects available that you can request from us, and we'll send it to you through the courier.
That is awesome. So here's a multitude, starting with projects you can do for crafting Kawaii. So the first one is bakeable eraser dough. I found that on Amazon. And then you take the eraser dough, you shape it into whatever you like, you pop that in the toaster oven, and then your project is actually an eraser. It's weird because we think it's going to go in the toaster oven and come out hard, and it comes out gummy. So that's almost like a science lesson in itself. You could roll that into a Kawaii STEAM program. Awesome to Ashley. Yeah, they are a lot of fun. Let's see, I'm going to work down and over, I guess, and then come back around to the stickers. Origami boxes, that's pretty straightforward, but you can always jazz up your origami to make it Kawaii. You can draw little faces on it. You can make the corner bookmarks. You can get kits that have all the stickers and stuff in it. So origami lends itself. It's easy. You just need paper and folding skills, which are easy enough to teach. And that can lend itself to lots of different crafts that are, again, easy, not going to take a lot of time unless they really get into it. So it's going to have an easy setup, and then the possibilities are endless. Now the one in the center is called Decoding. I don't know if you can see how well that's an actual picture from a project we did at my last library. So we made, using Model Magic clay, we made the fake frosting, and I gave the kids, because we did this during COVID, I gave the kids pipette kits with baggies. Did this with older kids because I thought it'd be too hard to explain to smaller kids. We're not eating this. So obviously I did it with teens. But they could pipe out their fake icing onto their wooden box in any manner they saw fit. And then I'd gotten the little chunky cabochon packages of decorations right off of Amazon. So that was pretty easy to throw together. Their projects came out really cool, and I think they had a lot of fun just, again, just decorating something. But the inspiration was like those puffy phone cases you see that have just charms and decorations just hanging off of them. I didn't include one of those I didn't think about it, honestly. There's so much. The kitty cats I talked about that are the squishy cats. The next one is the Michiri Neko marching hat. So at the end of the Michiri Neko show, they have the cats all lined up, and they do a little march down the screen, and they're playing instruments, they're doing somersaults. There's at least one or two doing different things, or wearing like a potato for a hat, just something really silly. So I introduced kids to Michiri Neko, and then we made, so almost in a cosplay effect, we made the little hats out of felt and paper cups, and the little things sticking out of it, those are pipe cleaners or Chanel stems. So again, that's an easy craft. It is super cute because we based it off Michiri Neko, and it has a cosplay element too because we made something from an anime cartoon. The pineapple planter up above, those turned out really well. The kids got a lesson on pineapples and the enzyme within the pineapple. And then we just took Model Magic, wrapped it around a terracotta planter, and they had a template, and then they could draw the little face on there to make it kawaii. So that one's pretty easy. If they didn't want to make it kawaii, they could just leave it as a pineapple, which would still be pretty kawaii all on its own because it's a super cute pineapple planter. And the last one is a sticker machine, and it's like you get cartridges that go inside that X, and it's like 2 pieces of tape, and one piece presses onto an object, like if you made a paper cutting with a puncher, you would press it between that little sandwich, and then you'll pull back and you'll have adhesive on the top of it, and when you press it out, then the adhesive is on your object. So that's a lot of fun for kids to make their own stickers. It gives them a form of expression, and they get to have that creativity aspect. Sticker machines, you can also get ones that look like a little mobile printer, and it uses thermal paper, and they can download different designs. I had one that was watching Hell of a Boss on YouTube, and so we would download images she found off the internet, and then we would download that onto the software for it and make her little stickers from her favorite anime that she was watching online. So that was a great way to make some custom stuff too. Again, that can go into anime, but it's still pretty kawaii if it's super cute and it's going on your stuff. And it gives, like I said, it gives the teens that creative expression. So everyone could get into it, and I always saw a lot of positive reactions when I had the sticker program. Next slide, please. Okay. Amigurumi. It is pronounced the way it is spelled. It is a type of crochet, and I picked out the octopi because they are very adorable, and I think everyone's seen those if you go to a lot of comic cons or anime cons or any cons, those octopi have been everywhere all summer. Not calling myself out. But it's a type of crochet, and it makes super cute creatures. So that would probably be something I would say for teens. It might even be a good program if you're working with adults. I couldn't crochet to save my life right now, not even a string. I would definitely feel challenged by that, but I'd also be willing to learn knowing that the outcome is going to be something pretty cute. And I also don't know how challenging those octopi are, but I did include the amigurumi.com website because when I searched for amigurumi, that was the website that came up, and it has a bunch of free patterns on it, and it's like an extensive database pretty much full of information about amigurumi and patterns and how to tweak your patterns and so much help. It just seems like a really cool item to have to help with creating things. Felting, that's where you're taking felt and like a tool, and you're pulling the little threads out so that your felt becomes more 3D instead of 2D flat, and you're creating whatever you want. I thought the eggs were cute, but you can make teddy bears, you can make, whatever you like, and then you can add the faces to it or not. It's still super cute even without the faces. So those are some projects you might consider for teens or even adults. And anything that I've mentioned already, you could definitely apply those to older groups with less prep, or to younger groups with obviously more prep. And for the amigurumi, if I was going to do it with small kids, I'd have to find like the easiest pattern and then still prep it halfway. Felting, the same thing. I would find the easiest pattern and still prep it halfway. That way they could get the feel for it and maybe already have a project half done and then feel like they accomplished something. Next slide, please. Okay, we went down a rabbit hole with these. I was sitting at the desk at work, and so I was making this presentation sitting next to my friend who was really into Hawaii as a tween and teen. And so we started looking up YouTubers because that's a nice way to have something for a program where you get to see how it's done. You can obviously, you can stream it, and then it's sort of like you're not the presenter, but they're the presenter. And so we sat and watched some of these at the desk, mesmerized by these paper creations these people were making. Itty bitty tiny little stickers and miniature sodas. And one of them made like a mini claw machine. So Tony Art and Craft and Helena's Craft, both on YouTube. I recommend these people for showing you how to make a variety of paper crafts for your kawaii needs. They make really awesome stuff, and they show you every step of the way. And this would be something that teenagers definitely get into, and even adults. So this would be great for that older age programming. I probably wouldn't do this with younger kids because of small parts and mini parts. There's a lot of steps involved in making these things. Oh no, can anyone hear me now?
Rachel, I can hear you.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Oh, hey, somebody spells their name like mine. Alrighty. 7 messages were received. Oh dear, I'm afraid to touch things. I'm afraid I'll pop out of here. I'm gonna have to believe about those messages. Um, we'll come back to those at the end. Every time I touch something on here, I kind of pop out, and I don't want to do that. So next slide. Okay, that's what. So I'm pretty much wrapping it up, guys. The paper was the end. There's a lot more I could have included in this, but I also wanted to be within my time frame, which I kind of blazed through it. But I want to have time for questions, time for conversation, time for technical problems, time for all the things. So I think this gives you a brief overview, definitely, of what KYAC is and how you can apply it to your library programs. I'm sure that as you research it, you'll find more things, cooler things I didn't even come across. This was just to scratch the surface. So yeah, time for questions, people.
What kinds of projects have you done with the felting? Or do you have a recommendation? Have you, and the other thing would be is have you done felting where it's a collaborative type thing where a bunch of kids do the same project together?
You
I
know,
mean,
I've not thought about doing a collaborative. A collaborative felting project would probably get done a lot faster than individual ones. And they could all help and pitch in. I hadn't actually done that when we did the felting. We did bats and ghosts. They got to pick which bat or ghost they were when we when we did it for COVID, they could do both because they were doing them at home and their parents were helping them. When we did it recently at the library, they had to pick which one because we only had an hour. If we had done it as a collaboration where, like, I did have a brother and sister that came in, you know, I could have been like, you all are going to share this. And sometimes I know sharing doesn't go over well with people. But, you know, if I was like, we're going to make one per team or something like that, that might be a solution so that everyone could get their hands on it. And then I could still send them home with a pattern so they could recreate another one all on their own. That would be a possibility. Of the crafts mentioned, I've done the felting, the pineapple planter, the day coding, the Michiri Neko hats, and I hadn't done the felting or the amigurumi or the YouTuber stuff yet. I've done a lot of paper crafting though, but not to that extensive level.
Ashley put in the text, she's seen people doing Decadent live on TikTok but never knew what it was. And could you restate what you used again?
Okay, I didn't quite hear that because I don't know what's going on with my speakers.
Can you see the chat?
Um,
Let me try again. She's seen people doing Decadent live on TikTok but didn't know what it was. So can you restate what you used again? Like what you made it out of? Uh-oh. To me, it looks like the quick dry air clay would be my
sorry, I
guess.
popped out looking for the chat. Was there a question about one of these items?
It was the decadin or decodin. I said it wrong.
Oh, the decoding, what about it?
What did you use to make it?
Oh, Model Magic? Are you familiar with the Crayola Model Magic? You mix that with some water, and I'm not sure where I found the recipe, but you have to get it to a consistency that it's not watered down, but it's not like slime. You get it to a consistency that it's more like a frosting, and then you can pipe it out, and then it would not be an ideal like 1 hour project because it has to dry, so it would definitely be something they have to come back for. Like they could leave it in the library and come back and grab it afterwards.
Oh, she said thank you.
You're welcome.
I've seen quite a bit of quizzes being done, like Kawaii quizzes, and I know we sort of talked about this, like for what is your personality or your favorite color or things like that. Do you think that's something that would work well in the library as well?
I think that's a great idea. It also didn't occur to me, but I think that would be, maybe you could do what's your kawaii personality, or what do you think of kawaii, or, what's your kawaii style? And that would be a great way to get to know people and see what kind of kawaii stuff they're interested in. I could probably run with that for a while. So I think that's a great idea.
I know Kawaii originated more in Japan, right? But has it spread to other Asian cultures too? Because I don't know, so I'm just asking.
I know it originated in Japan, but I am not 100% on the extent of it. I know it made its way over here, and it's obviously a pretty big deal over here. I don't know if other Asian cultures, but I would feel like it based on my use of Korean cosmetics and Korean products seem to have an element of kawaii to it. So without further research, I would say probably, just based on the things I do know, but I definitely have to research that more to see the extent of the spread and maybe how much it's used or appreciated in other cultures.
I was trying to help and I ended up asking a question like that. Other questions? Oh, okay. I don't have any other questions right now. Let me go back to the end so that people can get your emails. I just want to thank you for the time you put into this. And I know especially you had some technical difficulties this morning. So thank you for pressing out. Because a lot of people were really hoping you'd be here. So I'm glad it worked out, Rachel. So please take a great big breath and be at ease. Thank you, all of you that are here for the session. We're going to be taking a break now, and we'll start again at 11 o'clock Eastern and 10 o'clock Central. In this room, if you want to stay, we have Professor and Dr. Noah Ledstra. He's the Associate Professor at the University of North Carolina in Greensboro, and he's got a great session for us that encourages, or Bill is going to talk about outreach and advocacy and partnerships, no matter what your job title is, just as a public library employee. In room 2 at 11, Jennifer Sullivan's going to be there with supporting STEM program, and she has a lot of STEM ideas in programming to offer. And in our final room, Natasha Null and Antonia Bottoms from Taylor County are going to be presenting, and they're using trading cards to highlight major book characters. All are great options. I'm glad I don't have to choose. However, remember, everything is being recorded, and we will have it archived and available for everybody. Rachel, thank you yet again for doing all of this. It was a wonderful presentation, and I really think everything you gave us is so useful, and everyone could go home and use it straight away. So thank you so much. We really, really appreciate you. And I will stop the